On a day-by-day basis, we work very hard to care for our animals. Well cared for animals make for very healthy and robust growing animals, and those animals are bringing safe food to our nation and to everybody else. My name is Malcolm DeKruiger, and today we are at Cambalot Swine Breeders here in Northwest Indiana. I grew up the son of a doctor and a teacher, and so I did not grow up on a farm. Grandparents were into farming, and uncles and other family members were into farming. And when I was a teenager, I kind of started working for my uncles and fell in love with a pig. I found it to be just a very fascinating and interesting sort of an animal to work with. When I graduated from undergraduate, I decided to go to Purdue University and get my master's degree in animal sciences. And more specifically, it was in monogastric nutrition and swine management. 40, 50, 60 years ago, all these pigs were outdoors, and it got cold and the weather was inclement and they suffered. And so we said, well, let's put them under a roof. Well, then the wind blew through there, so let's put walls around there. And that's when we had to take control of the environment inside these barns. Our animals are indoors to keep them out of inclement weather. The three things that you just got to do right to take care of an animal is you have to give them fresh food, you have to give them fresh water, and you have to give them fresh air at the right temperature. If you take care of those three basic things, the animal will be very comfortable and it will flourish. The breeding barn is a location where weaned animals, weaned sows are brought, and about 4 to 5 days after they are weaned, they will naturally start to express estrus, or they'll come into heat. It's quieted down now a little bit, but it often gets very noisy in here when the guys and the girls are talking to each other. This is a tunnel ventilated barn with evaporative cooling on it. This is a typical day in our breeding and gestation barns. You know, one of the common questions that we hear is, well, what about all those antibiotics and what about all those hormones? For a variety of reasons, we have extremely healthy animals here, and we work very hard to keep them that healthy. It allows us to not have to give much medicine ever. It allows us to minimize the amount of vaccinations that we have to give. It allows the animal to grow extremely well and robustly. If an animal is sick, it needs to have something to make it better. It likely won't just get over it like we would get over a cold. They need to have some help, and it is our responsibility as stewards to do that. The only time that we give any kind of a hormone is in the birthing process. Just like in a hospital, where a woman would go to the hospital and get a shot of Pitocin or oxytocin, we will give a little shot of that to the sows when they're having babies, because it helps let down milk and increase the contractions of the uterus. There are no hormones on the market to feed to pigs. There are no hormones that we give them a shot of as a growing and finishing pig.
My name's Nathan, and I'm using an ultrasound machine to confirm pregnancy. The dark circles is fluid surrounding the fetus. This sow is about 35 days pregnant.
In this barn, there's probably about 3,000 sows. Some of them are in traditional sow stalls like this one. Others are in European free access stalls. We try to be early adapters of some of these new technologies, and we like the care that these sow stalls give to our animals. These animals are well protected if they want to be. This allows her to back out. She can walk around, and then if she wants to get back in, or if she wants to get back into feed or to get some water, she can walk right back in. She pushes the front gate closed, and the gate latches behind her. And so 90% of the time, maybe 99% of the time, they stay in their stalls. They don't get out hardly at all. But it does allow them the choice if they want to get out. And it does allow them the protection, because when it's latched, unless she pushes it from the inside, another sow can't open it up and get at her backside. There is a purpose for everything that our pigs experience, whether it's their feeding, their breeding, their farrowing. There is a timing to everything, and what that does is that allows our employees to consistently know what should be happening next for the care of the animals. It allows for the consistent environment of the animals that they live in. The thing that has changed over the years is that through government regulation and through greater technologies, we have been monitoring and keeping closer records and data of all of the nutrients that we place out into the fields, and then also the crops that we receive back off from those fields. From a sustainability definition is just one big circle of life. It just keeps going round and around, and it's been a pretty natural thing for us to be doing for many, many years. This corn crop has been fertilized by some of the solids that are generated by the waste of the pigs on our farm. Corn that is raised is then turned around and brought to the feed mill. We will grind it up and put it right back in the feed that goes into the pigs. There are many different sized farms. We all are taking care of animals, or we're all taking care of crops, and different groups of people, whether they are on a small farm or on a large farm, are faced with the same challenges. The consumer wants to know that they can get safe, consistent food, and definitely affordable. So whatever we as a total group can do to give them that confidence, we have to work together on that.